Good morning. Oh, honey. Great topics today. We're talking the overzealous husband, the Nelson Mandela effect, plus another boycott. Cha. Bye. Morning. Let me start fast. So if I talk fast today, forgive me. I got a group, so I can't be here long. Plus, I got my 30 minutes that I got to give you guys. I got to spill out my stuff of how I feel about things that I saw in the news this week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm Miss Teal from the Miss Teal and Miss Robin podcast. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Just a platform, me, a girl from the South, talking about things that I see in the news from my perspective. This is a thought-provoking platform where I just talk my opinions. Nothing's law. I don't know any of these people. I am just in the cheering section, right? Just talking my shit. So I come every Saturday to talk about the things that I seen in the news. Hold up. I got some lipstick on my teeth? Okay, I don't. So that's who I am. So if you haven't subscribed, once again, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section if you don't agree or agree. It doesn't matter. The thing is about having a conversation. Plus, whatever. I got some good nails on today, right? Look at those, right? Oh, I'm such a fucking lady. Oh, I love it. Listen, we got some great topics today. The first topic I wanted to talk about today was overzealous husband. I wanted to talk about the Offset in the Cardi B situation. Again, another boycott. I was talking about the Dr. Jamal Bryant calling for another boycott due to the Dollar General. We're in the hood. We live off dollar. What is this man talking about? I don't know. Listen, and plus the Nelson Mandela effect. I was talking about the President Trump commuting Chicago's I don't want to name him a gang leader because I think he's over with that life, but I think he would forever have that title due to his start, right? But it all depends on what you do with those things once you've given them, right? Because the reason why I say that is you can have the title of being a whore, but you also can become a great housewife. Even the myths say you can't, but you can. So I do believe, I think his name is Hoover, right? Larry Hoover. He can turn this around and make this a great thing for him and his community. So come on, let's talk about some of those topics. I got 30 minutes. I got to go fast. I said I got something to do. Listen, Cardi B and Offset. Cardi B and Offset is literally, this couple is like the average couple in our community. You fall in love, and you get a divorce because of the different opinions or the different stance and views that we have. First of all, I think both of them come from different backgrounds, which would have been a challenge for them to be able to adjust to the different opinions and the views of each one of the persons, right? A lot of people don't realize you're growing up, your backgrounds is very important because it could be, it can cause a rift because it is different. You really have to have a understanding when you coming into a marriage and even different backgrounds. Hello, T-Rock. Thank you for joining me this morning. So you really have to have a understanding. And I think sometimes when you go into marriages as immature as some of us do, we don't realize marriage, it causes for you to have an open mind, to be able to accept things that you normally don't witness. Marriage is a challenge. It can become hard to some who don't want to adjust. I think marriage is a thing that you have to adjust to. You have to learn the person and grow with them. I think people think once you get married, everything is over and everybody should be happy. No, I think the work begins once you get married, right? Those are to the people who marry. You know what I'm talking about? So it's an understanding type of thing. Marriage is up and down too. And if you're not able to withstand in the downs, you probably won't make it. I think that's something people need to understand once you get into a marriage. You're going to have some down. You're going to have some valley moments. And those valley moments is sure the test that would be able to show would you guys be able to stand. And if you really love each other, you make it withstand it. You know, you watch your grandma and your grandpa went through this thing for decades, and it was downs, it was valleys. I don't think we teach it enough. I don't think we talk about it enough. But that's what I would say to young kids, young people who decided to get married. Be ready for the valleys, because they sure go with marriage. But it doesn't mean that you bail out every time you have a valley. Sometimes both people have to get in a place where you start understanding. You got to make sure that, okay, we're going through a valley. Let's buckle down in our faith or whatever that secures you. And let's stick it out if it's possible. Now, sometimes it's not possible. You can't do it. But if you notice that when you first get into that, you can make it. But anyway, I was just giving that a little advice. I know about that. Cardi B, Offset is asking for spousal support. Now, listen. I was looking into the news the other day, and I saw that Cardi B was the second highest rap artist, female, being paid. I think her net worth is 101.6 million. So I think once I saw that drop down, I said, we got to be careful about revealing too much information. Because that can be detrimental to us. T-Rock said, I love that advice because I'm getting married one day. Yes! T-Rock, I love that. First of all, society is telling us that the new generation do not desire marriage. But I beg to differ. I think if marriage is explained and told and being able to be seen through these imperfect eyes, I think the stigma of marriage would not be so scary. I think marriage is great. It's wonderful. It builds communities and it helps make homes healthy. So I love that one day you decided to get married, T-Rock. I love that. Oh my God. That makes me happy because you know I love black love. So I love that. But once again, back to Cardi B. She's the second paid highest rap female right now with $101.6 million. Nicki Minaj is the first with $190.5 million. But when I seen that drop down into the social media world, I said, whoa, that's going to be a problem for her because now men are taking it upon themselves to sit in the seats of, okay, well, since you making the money, you're going to have to pay for everything. You know what? I'm not trying to blame feminism, because I do believe women should have some kind of independence. That's not what I'm saying. But I think when women started fighting, women gonna kill me. I'm just being honest. When women started fighting for equality to be equal to men, we opened up a door of, all right, now we're gonna be treated like the superiority in the relationship or in the marriage, because women started fighting for this equal thing. And let me tell you something. I don't want to be equal to my man. I want my man to be bigger than me. I want him to be all bigger than me. I do. I want him to know more than me. I want him to make more than me. I want him to be bigger than me. I'm just that girl. Now, I'm not trying to, a lot of women don't like to hear that because they feel like, oh, you just being submissive. But submissive doesn't mean you be mistreated. Submissive doesn't mean that you have to be cruel to your mate. But I ain't trying to, I want to be under my man. See, I'm a fucking lady. I'm a lady. I want to be under him. I'm not trying to be bigger than him. But also society have pushed women into this forefront because we are forced sometimes to be the leaders in our marriages, relationship, or even in our homes, right? So in this situation, Cardi B is getting a divorce now, and Offset is asking for support, right? Which I think maybe he's doing it out of meanness, right? Maybe he's doing that out of, just agitating him. Do you think Offset want his wife back? What if Offset really want his wife back, but he's not able to have the room to say, I want my marriage back? Me personally, I believe that Offset may want his marriage back. Marrying so young, you think that you could go and find something else that may be better or the same, but realizing, no, I think he really loves Cardi B. I really believe he wants his marriage back. T-Rock said he's bitter. Probably. Sometimes men are so silly. You find that you lose your good thing once you're gone. And I think he had a lot of opportunities that he missed his good thing. But I do believe Offset wants his wife back, but it may be too late. But anyway, now he's putting her in a situation where he's saying, I'm going to make you pay for my pain. Because I do believe it's just pain. T-Rock said Offset really made her so he feel entitled to control her. But really, she is the breadwinner. She is the breadwinner right now. I don't. And this is what I want to say to women who are in the position where they are over their men concerning money. That's a great thing. I think you have to be really mature to be able to accept if your woman making more money than you. Most men can't handle their women in a bigger position or a powerful position. You have to really be a mature man to understand that. And I'm going to say this because I got to go. I got some more topics. Because T-Rock, I want you to be on this. But some men do not like to be misses. I think what I'm saying is I think Offset saw himself being Mr. Cardi B instead of being Mr. Offset. He saw himself and people saw him and viewed him as Miss Cardi B, Mr. Cardi B. And I think that was offensive. Some men, it's offensive to them. They can't do it. It's hard for them. You have to really be mature to know, okay, my wife got it. And I think society, this is crazy, but think about this. I think society sometimes pushes women into the forefront where it demeans some men, especially in the black community. I think black women get more privileges than black men. It can push women out more to make men feel very vulnerable and not wanted or not feeling special. What you think, T-Rock? Do you think more black women get more opportunities than black men? And why? Why is society portraying that, doing that? I do believe, this is just my opinion, just an opinion-based show. I love to hear what you think about it. But I do believe that more black women get more opportunity than black men, right? So I think Offset did not want to be Mr. Cardi B. That was very offensive to him. But I do believe he loved her. I do believe he wants to be with her. But this is the way he can get her attention. But Offset do still hold some responsibility into this. He found himself being a serial cheater. And I think a lot of times when he became this serial cheater, it was because his ego was crushed because she was so big. She was so big. Most men cannot handle their wives being bigger. It becomes a competition. And I believe he wrestled with that. And not having the men and the right support around him to help him maneuver through that becomes a challenge. Do Offset have his dad at home? Or was he raised by a single mother? That makes that tells you a lot about the way he going about things. That tells you a lot. Because I think if he had a father in his life, and I'm not sure, I'm just asking, maybe his father can give him some great advice about how to handle this. And once again, I do believe it's a culture thing too. All of that was a competition. I got to move on. Tell me what you think about it. I got to move on because I ain't got but a couple minutes. I got to move on. I think Nicki Minaj may have trouble later. Unless her old man understand his position. And let's make this work. But most men don't want to become under their women. Okay, let's move on. Larry Hoover. Listen to this, you guys. What I got here? Larry Hoover, the co-founder of the GDs, Gangster Disciples and BDs, right? In Chicago, right? Recently, he came up to be pardoned, commute by President Trump. Is President Trump for the blacks? Larry Hoover, he's been incarcerated for 52 years. May the 28th, 2025, Trump commuted him to be pardoned by the federal. But the states still have a hold on him for another 200 years concerning a murder. But the people in the community is asking and reaching out and trying to protest and ask that the state, that the governor, I got his name, Petzer. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. They're asking for the governor of Chicago to commute him as well. Say he's a elderly man, sick man, and now he can be an asset to the community. And could they please pardon him for a childhood act that he did when he was 13. I think he became the founder of the GDs when he was 13. Larry Hoover, he won't be walking free anytime. This is what the news article said. It says soon, despite today's federal commutation, Larry Hoover may have secured a federal commute from President Donald Trump today, but the Gangster Disciple co-founder will remain behind bars for the foreseeable future. Listen to this. While the commutation lifts Hoover multiple federal life sentences, it does not apply to the separate 200-year state sentence he's still seeing in Illinois. From 1973 murder conviction, a sentence outside of presidential authorities to overturn. So the president can't overturn state, but he can't overturn federal. But anyway, I don't know if you know this lady, Alice Johnson. She is the newly appointed pardon Caesar for President Trump. She's the one who give him names to be able to say, hey, look into these people need to be pardoned. So Miss Alice Johnson, she took Larry Hoover's name to President Trump to say he need to be pardoned. Think about this. She was part of the First Step Act. She was convicted on, I think she had cocaine trafficking charges, Miss Allison Johnson, and President Trump pardoned her due to her, what happened to her when she was younger. Listen to this. Miss Allison Johnson called President Trump the second chance president. A lot of people in the whispers are saying President Trump is not bad as the Democrats is portraying him to be. They saying President Trump is really a president of solutions. He really the president of trying to give people a second chance. Listen, he also freed a lot of more people. Let me see if I can find some of the names that President Trump freed. I hope you guys can see this. Let me see. I hope you guys can see this. President Trump also pardoned a lot of these people on this list. The Todd and Julie Chrisley. He even commuted YoungBoy. From the rapper NBA YoungBoy. A lot of people in the community was happy about that because he also hold a young fan base. So a lot of people was talking about that. And a lot of these different names, you can look on the list and you can kind of see some of the people he pardoned. But a lot of people are saying President Trump is a solution-based president. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. They don't really like that Trump is now getting this kind of fire up under him as being a president of solutions. The reason why I felt like President Trump may wanted to pardon Larry Hoover, I felt like President Trump always was questioning and asking why Chicago streets are so bad and what could be done to contain it. I don't know if you know this, but Chicago streets have been kind of out of hand, even in the President Obama's presidency, right? So President Trump, which people is labeling him as a president of solutions, he's trying to see, could Larry Hoover be a big piece to put out on the streets to be able to calm down some of the violence in Chicago? Now listen, they can take the people through there and lay everybody flat, but why do that when maybe they can find a solution? I don't know. I think President Trump and his house and his seat, his presidency, they're throwing a lot of things against the wall to see would it work. Would Hoover be a great key to being able to come back into the community and maybe silence some of the issues in the community. I don't know. I think the generation now and when Hoover started this organization is totally different. Now, his voice may still could be some kind of power that it can kind of control the masses. But I also do think that the people in control government may be fearful of that. I think they may be fearful of Larry Hoover coming out, maybe not realizing what's his stance when he do get out. Will he talk revolutionary or will he talk peace? A lot of people, this is up in the air. And I think this is going to make a big decision whether they would choose to commute him from the state or not, because people really don't know. And the reason why I call this the Nelson Mandela effect, I don't know if you guys know this, but Nelson Mandela was this leader in Africa where he led this apartheid in Africa. At one time, they was nervous in Africa because a lot of people was rioting in the streets and doing things because they felt it was injustice. So I think recently and later on, as they prisoned Nelson Mandela, after I think 20 something years, he was let out and he also became the president of Africa, which it turned the tide. So this is why I think President Trump may be thinking that letting Larry Hoover out can make some kind of difference in Chicago and around the world. Because if you don't know, you got a lot of members of the Gangster Disciples organizations all around the world. But this voice can be a key thing that maybe can calm some of the storm. I don't know. I'm just throwing my things into the wall. This is a platform where we have a conversation. It could work. Him getting out of prison, Larry Hoover, could be a nice piece into the community where it can kind of calm some of the storm. And I think President Trump may be thinking along those lines. So this is why I say that. T-Rock says, so basically they want him to be an informant and tell about all the murders he knows. I get what you're saying, T-Rock, and I see a lot of people do that from these different organizations. But what if he cannot just so much be an informant, but what if he can be a really key part in the community to not so much tell what you know, but give great advice to the youth and to the community of how we need to build each other in the community. See, when you say it like that, that can become an issue in our community because you have this no snitching thing in our community. But if Larry Hoover can come out and just be a great voice in the community, just a powerful voice that he can be able to say, hey, let's calm down. This is really what we need to do. I think it could be different. I don't think he should have to be an informant. I don't know. I don't really know. I just think he could be a powerful voice in his community. But I get what you're saying, T-Rock. They normally make people that. But in so many ways, think about this. He would have to connect and work with authorities. That's just like probation. He would have to come out here and work with the governors and the mayors in the city. That's just what it would have to be. Now, do he have to go around telling everything he see? No, I think that's a bad position that they would try to put him in. But I do believe he do have to work with the people in the city. Just like a job, you have to work with your people. So it's a line that you have to draw. And I do believe maybe we are trying to give Mr. Larry Hoover too big of a task. He's an elderly man. He's in his 80s. I don't think he should be able to have to hold everything in his lap. Even though everybody said, well, he started it. Yeah, but it's going to take everybody to kind of finish it and contain it. Right? I don't find any fault in organizations. I love organizations, right? You have all kind of organizations. I think the gangs or whatever, y'all need to change your title. This is an organization. You have the fraternities. There's organizations. You have the police. Those are organizations. It's a lot of organizations. And I think gang members or people who under that umbrella need to change their titles to organizations. Maybe it's a palatable thing. People can take it in more. T-Rock said, Big U situation all over again. It's called a project for a reason, to keep you going through the same cycle and make it continuously. I get what you're saying, and a lot of people would say that. I think you're talking about Big U out in California, right? Right. But I do believe at the end of the day, Larry Hoover probably would be, not saying forced, but he would have to kind of come together with the leaderships in the community, and that's government, that's mayor, and it may be even, just people in the community. He would have to come together. It's gonna take a all us effort. See, a lot of people don't realize that. It's gonna take everybody in the community to make a change if you want it. I was listening to Snoop Dogg the other day, and they was asking him about gangs, and he specifically was saying gangs could be a great thing. And I think gangs need to be structured. I think gangs, organization can be a great thing if it's structured. Maybe if you implement things to these organizations, it may could turn out. I don't know. We're throwing everything to the wall. Thank you, T-Rock. Thank you, darling. So that's crazy. I don't know. Maybe Larry Hoover may be pushed in that position. I don't know. This is crazy. But tell me what you think about it. I'm watching. But I do believe he may have to do those things to be let out of prison. He may just have to. Which is crazy. You put a person in a position like that, and he may just have to do that. Okay, let's move on. What I got? Oh my God. I had Dr. Jamal Bryant, speaking of organizations. I don't know if you know this, you guys, but Dr. Jamal Bryant called for another boycott. He's asking for everyone not to go to the Dollar Generals, which is crazy. What you want the hood to do, Jamal Bryant? Anyway, where do you shop? You know, some of these people who are in leadership and calling these boycotts, for some reason I feel like, would y'all just wake up in the morning and just, point out somebody and say what y'all want to do? Actually, he said that. He said he just woke up and he realized that Dollar General is not paying enough. They're in the community. They all over the place, but they're not giving enough to the community. Now, is that enough to boycott? Is that a reason to pull out the guns and telling the world and people of color to boycott? I'm not bought, sold, whatever. I'm sorry. I wouldn't follow Jamal Bryant anywhere. He's really, to me, I'm nervous when Dr. Jamal Bryant come on the stream. It's just serious. I was asking a question on Twitter. I said, okay, after the Target boycott, what was the outcome? Who benefited? No one answered, because no one knows. So when you got the Jamal Bryant, shout out to you, the Al Sharpners. I saw Al Sharpner sitting at the table with the Target associations and all the founders and the I'm sorry, but I didn't see anything else. I didn't hear where would the proceeds go to benefiting and boycotting Targets. Did it come to the community? No. So where is the money or where is the access going? To them themselves? Did Al Sharpton get paid for boycotting the Targets? Did he get some kind of fee? And did it go into his bank account? See, these are the questions that the black community don't want to ask. Who got the money? Because the last time y'all did a worldwide show for the world, you had the girl sitting up in the house in Hollywood talking about she's the Black Lives Matter with a big old house, and everybody under that umbrella got paid. So I'm asking the real black community, the hood, be careful following every facet that comes across our stream for their benefits. They're not really giving back to the community. And I'm talking about your black leaders now. They're not really spewing whatever they feel like they're conquering back into the community. They only getting it for themselves, and people do not talk about it enough. You don't hear anybody saying about it because everybody's getting paid, but the people who's being used for this moment. Who's being used? The poor, the nobodies who could speak. Being used for everybody's moment, and everybody getting paid and riding off in the sunset. Be careful following all of these crazy people. Do I believe sometimes you may have to stand out on your thing? Yes. But you have to be careful following everybody. Everybody do not have your best interests at heart. And to me, I think Dr. Jamal Bryant, this is not good. This is not good for the community. This is just not good. Because right now it's so hard. A lot of people of color from the hood, we shopping at the Dollar General and the Dollar Trees. It becoming grocery stores right now. If y'all been in the Dollar Tree lately, they got everything you need. So how would you tell people of that stature not to shop and not to go into these places? For who? Your gain? Come on, black community. You got to stand up to these leaders first before you can go higher. And I think the Jamal Bryants, the Al Sharptons, and people of this such is really taking advantage of the poor. I'm sorry. I know we don't like to talk about that because the quiet thing is don't talk about each other. No, we got to be honest. Jamal Bryant, this is not cool. This is not cool. This is not cool. And y'all don't talk about it enough. I got 2 minutes. I gotta go. Listen, Kendrick is on tour tonight. Where is Kendrick tonight? I think he's in Vegas. He's on tour. And plus, make sure you get over there and see Beyonce and her kids. Oh my God. Lil Rumi is stealing the show, right? I love it. Go and see Kendrick. I need to see teeth. Y'all know my motto. Listen, I'll see y'all next week. Leave a comment in the comment. Tell me what you think. Bye.